Thank you all for coming. This poem's called All I Want to Do All Day Is Smoke Dope and Stare at Crows. He tries to sleep with crows in his bed. He likes having crows. He gets fed by the crows. They feed him like a baby crow. He goes to the bar. The crows come along. He goes to work. They circle the plant. He says hi to his daughter. They grasp her in their claws and fly her towards him. She thinks she's a crow. They peck at his eyes, so he has to smoke dope. Smoking dope, he smells like the art teacher's office. He plays bad music really loud. Then he has to wear a suit that has nothing to do with healing his eyes. Then he has to go to a concert. Then he has to quit smoking, and his pupils become soft squares once more. But all I want to do all day is smoke dope, stare at crows, and wonder how I'd handle my life if that thing with the birds ever happened to me.
Yeah.
It's based on a Simpsons episode. The one where Homer smokes pie. This is an essay about what is real. What is real is thinking. Loud people are real, but getting less so. So they get louder, which makes them less real because everyone leaves them. They get louder, the police come and arrest them, which makes them more real. If you need a lawyer, you have to be real. Then a wave, a line intersecting that wave. Above, you're real, and below, you're not. Starting at loud, then getting louder. But if you took that wave and joined its ends so that it resembled a blossom, then all this would incarnate, would have to. Not even the police could stop it. Instead, a hummingbird would stick its head right down the blossom's center, and sacredness would enter the real. As a sea is thinking about the moon, very slow music. The sea honors her mother by abolishing loneliness, and another coral reef buds inside her and her thoughts, which I am also thinking. Or lucky, which is also memory, someone who likes a lot saying hello. But when I can memorize, I choose this thought, and I feel like the sea. So I thought about moving my thumb around inside you, thought about how your ears flush, thought about what I'm able to do. I get so emulsified. I leave my glasses on the floor. I don't need to see where I'm going. Where I'm going, it is joyfully dark. Dark where I'm always there and always arriving. The dark. Likely not that dark. I like being married. Maybe not as rectangular as I used to be. So I should hang out with James and get a bit squared. Mind on top of my own man. Obedient workers, half flight, half conversational. Tiny men riding atop hummingbird mounts, commanding fleets of bees before a field of lavender. Not real. Divine pollen, that which is smeared down one's forehead, consecrating all thoughts from that point until it's dark and night returns the god of sleep to the world. Then would be like a stranger, would inherit names, coins, loosen your obscurity like a tide, bring water in your mouth, your own mouth for me to drink. I'm so happy, I better stop being happy. I'm so happy they're going to put me in jail. I'm so happy I make art obsolete. Just spend time in the same room with me, you'll never need to go to the museum anymore. I make happiness like a factory. I crash the market. My happiness crashes the market. My exuberance does that. I like doing that. You got a market, I'll crash it with my joy. Been catching hold of my happiness, kicking, not ashamed, but in the roundness of the situation. God's thinking, this thought deserves to be real. Describing the space, then living in it. Directed at you, and directed at you. Working and thinking. Shaking what's real from what's true. A man goes to bed and a woman, and she wakes up at him. He says, I thought I was handsome, thought I was asleep. Says, I love my arm between your torso and your other arm. You can interpret desires as called exactly that thing makes both of them more green. She says I was working. I tried to intend. I tried compassion, and I intended. I tried resonance, and I intended. The whole world was bells. Then around 4:30, my boss called, and I was let loose from what? My intentions. So they're intuitional in the way they move together. They eat breakfast. They make eggs. They keep them loose. This is a poem about buttons. Oh, come. Oh, come on, you know. If the center isn't sleeping, will you find a bed for it? If vertebrae, would you say the fourth and fifth counting down? Will you reach down the neck of my shirt and cup me? Would you count my ribs? Am I like a tent? Do I flap? Am I like two roads, standing up or lying down? Am I like the leaves and branches of our bay laurel tree? Am I shady? Am I light? Oh, come on, come on, come on. Of course you know. It's sunny. I'm sunny. The sun can't help it. The sun can't stop popping. And you tell me buttons are good for only one thing. And you tell me, and then you show me.
So nice. Wow.
So, this one's about Jerry Falwell.
That's a nice segue.
I wrote this when Jerry Falwell died. And I just wanted to rip him a new one, and instead this poem came out.
Right.
So, it's about hell, too. So, when I got there, Satan took out his flensing knives. And happily he went to work on me. He said, I'm going to make a suit out of you, and I will look so dashing. At first I was terrified. Then I knew I could bear it. But like Jerry Falwell, who stood in line behind me, all I could say was mercy. But he was not seeing what I saw. What he saw was all the people, for everyone was here. No one was saved. We all patiently stood, waiting our turn. So I turned, and I saw the devil in my skin, that caricature, my character, and I laughed to be liberated from myself. And feeling lighter and much better dressed, I went looking for you.
Nice.
So, I'll read two more. Maybe three. This one's about gloves and mittens. Mittens hate gloves. Gloves are vertical, their fingers grass stalks waving. Mittens are only good for shoving your hands into the oven. But a pair of surgical gloves can be impossibly sexy. When you hook your thumbs, it's like you got a spider in a sack. Of course, mittens are warmer, but nobody wants to make love with mittens on. Mitten fetishists accepted. All 8 of them. Suburban mittens need clips because everyone's eager to lose them. Nobody names kittens after gloves. But at night, the mittens sing what who wants to hear. And when their work is done, the gloves crawl inside and dream of fleece.
Nice.
This one's a true story. This is, I went to this used bookstore in The Hague, and I was just listening, and this is what happened. In the used bookstore, the owner yells to the customer, "No, we don't carry books on magic. It's evil and selfish." And the customer says, "No, I just want to know more about Aleister Crowley." And she yells at him, "I spent years getting the weeds out of my mind." What about those Wiccans who tried to make an earthquake to stop nuclear power? They would have dumped the whole state of California into the sea, killed thousands. He said, "I'd never do that. I just want to read Aleister Crowley's biography." Well, she says, "We don't have it. I won't order it. Get out of my shop." Then she looks at me like I'm wearing a hat. Like I got materials in my pocket. Like I wouldn't lie about what I could do. And this last one.
Nice. Very nice.
This one's pretty. The ground is modest. It gets covered with nasturtiums. It wears a suit of oxalis. Its colors are yellow and green. The earth isn't so choosing. It wears the living and dead all woven together. My wife explains the difference between knitting and weaving, but the dirt doesn't have to. Night and day it demonstrates. Pile of dirt next to the planter bed, wearing a plastic bag for a dress. The wind flirts with it. Love, the earth wears us like a veil, and God lifts us to reveal his bride. Or God wears us, all of us, like a beloved sweater, and the earth is the dresser where he keeps us. Or no matter what we are wearing, we are naked, and the universe is a crown. Thank you.